It's a rapidly unfolding disaster on the mid-north coast. Tonight, 3 people are confirmed dead as communities are inundated by record-breaking floodwaters. Emergency crews are at breaking point, with nearly 50,000 people in the danger zone. We have reporters in all the critical locations tonight, and this is the scale of this flood crisis, which stretches from Newcastle to Taree onto Port Macquarie and Coffs Harbour. 9 News reporter Erin Ramsey begins our coverage.
The water torture continues, and so too do the rescues. There's no end to the rain or the misery, as dozens of the elderly are forced from their retirement village. Confirmation today the flooding disaster, the worst in Taree's history, has taken a tragic turn. 63-year-old grandfather David Knowles, found in floodwaters at his farm at Motto to the north. The local baker had earlier steered rescuers to people next door.
He said, go get the neighbours and the kids. Go get them, I'll be right. I'll be right.
But hours later, his body was discovered. Today, his daughter spoke to 9 News.
My dad was amazing. He would take his shirt off for anyone that needed it. He would give the last 5 cents that he had to anyone who needed it.
And then this afternoon, news of a second death during a media conference with the Premier.
I'm going to have to leave it to police to make that announcement, but unfortunately the community will have to brace for more bad news.
The victim, a man in his 30s who's feared to have driven into floodwaters near Wauchope. And a short time ago, confirmation of a third victim, as authorities search for a 60-year-old woman swept away in a car near Dorrigo and a 49-year-old man last seen in Nimboida, south of Grafton. The scale of this emergency has triggered an unprecedented response. The fire brigade in boats. Going from door to door, they're among 2,500 personnel in the zone, trucks, boats and 10 helicopters, mobilised to help nearly 50,000 people.
It's one of the largest deployments for a storm cell that we've seen in New South Wales.
And it could get bigger.
Defence stands ready to provide all the assistance necessary.
And this is the front row seat to one of the many daring rescues. A crewman on a Westpac chopper comes knocking.
Hello, anyone in there?
And there was someone home in waist-deep water.
I can't take anything with me.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I've got tablets.
Yeah, we can take small medications, but that's it.
Police are managing the mass evacuations from a control room.
So 2 more rescued and taken to the EOC, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
There was a tearful reunion. A local SES volunteer was working to help others when her children were at home and became isolated by the floodwaters.
There's no words. I have just been so stressed, not knowing whether they're all right, and having them here now, I can continue on with my job.
2 truck drivers on their way to Melbourne found themselves stranded on the Pacific Highway until they got a lift from a chopper. How long did you wait for help?
Yeah, 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, 2 days.
Oh my God!
I only had a sandwich.
You only had a sandwich with you? The M1, Australia's busiest motorway, is cut underwater in numerous places. This is as close as we can get to the main town of Taree, with rapids now also making it difficult for some rescue boats to get across. And with this heavy rain continuing to lash the coast, it'll be days before this town gets some relief. And Taree's CBD is still underwater, as some locals dare to venture back. This was the local barbershop.
It literally pushed its way up through the floorboards.
The threat now spreading further north, Kempsey cut in half, surrounding towns isolated too.
We've got a lot of isolated communities. So Smithtown, Gladstone, Southwest Rocks, Crescent Head, all of our downriver communities are isolated. Pretty much we're just a chain of islands on the floodplain at the moment.
Communities caught out by the speed of the emergency, and the shops are now off limits.
I don't think the community was as prepared as they wanted to be. I think just the amount of rain that fell in a short amount of time, they just didn't get the supplies they needed.
Maxville under evacuation orders, the Nambucca River taking over town.
But it hasn't been as high as this before, that's for sure.
And there's more to come, expecting a wave from upstream.
About 6 hours between when it's really heavy up there before the rivers make it all the way down to here.
Yeah, this is a really tough, resilient community. The people on the mid-north coast, they breed them tough up there, but we need them to be tough.
They're also caring. The offer of free food, including KFC.
And stick together, you know, we can rebuild. We've done it before, we can do it again.
No one can safely say when this will end and what will be left when it's over. What is certain, the flood of 2025 will never be forgotten. Erin Ramsey, 9 News.
OK, let's go to Erin in Taree for us tonight. Erin, we've just confirmed that third death.
Yes, Pete, a third person has died in floodwaters, believed to be one of the 2 missing people. Police will be giving an update in less than 30 minutes. Such a tragic day for these communities, and the search and rescue efforts are far from over. They're in fact ramping up. Just before the sun went down here at Taree, a boat was winched out to Jones Island to provide access to people who are cut off there. Still 50,000 people unable to get to any just regular supplies or help. We know that SES crews are going door to door tonight to make sure that those who are staying in their homes and are isolated are safe and going to be okay. As for the Manning River behind me here, those levels are continuing to fall, so some good news there, and authorities are predicting that access across this bridge into the main town of Taree could happen as soon as tomorrow night. Pete?
All right, let's hope so. We'll leave you there in Taree, Erin, and we'll move to Hayley Francis, who's at an evacuation centre in Nambucca Heads this evening. Hayley, it's certainly busy there tonight.
Pete, this is the RSL. There were already around 100 people here, and I'm told there's another 80 arriving just tonight. Many of those people are from Maxville, a town which was really hard affected. It became a really hairy time around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and the Nambucca River rapidly rising around 1 o'clock. It hit the major flood level. Those levels are still rising, and there's still so much water to come from downstream. Now, the rain here has been pelting down non-stop. This is in fact the first time it hasn't rained for many days here. The valley here has really become an area of concern for emergency services, and this community, however, is very experienced with floods. The Mayor says they will get through this no matter what happens. Pete?
Hayley, thank you. We'll move to Parramatta now, where we find 9 News reporter Madison Scott. Maddie, the rain has tracked south to Sydney.
It sure has, Pete, and there is a severe weather warning in place for parts of Sydney tonight. Parramatta River, where we are here, has turned into a raging torrent. It's swallowed up parts of the wharf, and the Weir is looking more like a waterfall. Now, Sydney's southwest and west are tonight in the firing line. There are right now, as we go to air, 6 advice-level flood warnings in place for parts of Sydney. Residents in these areas need to tonight stay alert. They are Tempe, Milpera, Liverpool, Menangle Park, North Richmond and Colo. We have seen some extremely heavy downpours tonight, and that will continue into tomorrow with more than 100 millimetres of rain expected.
OK, Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in Amber now and look at those numbers. How much rain, Amber, have we seen across the state?
Good evening to you, Pete. Well, the totals continue to climb significantly. Today, the heaviest falls once again on the mid-north coast, with 24-hour totals reaching 336 millimetres in Bellingen, 323 in the National Park west of Kempsey, and 242 millimetres in Coffs Harbour. Now, since 9 a.m, we've seen an additional widespread 10 to 60 millimetres of rain. Gloucester picking up the heaviest falls with 100 millimetres. Now, we haven't escaped the wet weather here in Sydney, as we've just seen. Richmond today drenched with 68 millimetres so far, more than 30 millimetres falling in Parramatta, Greystanes, Hornsby and Kings Langley, 19 millimetres in the city. Now, those totals are expected to rise considerably over the next 24 hours, with a possible storm in the mix as well. I'll be back with that forecast a little later, Pete.
All right, Amber, thank you.